And the death of Raila Odinga has brought the curtains down on the political career of a man known for his decades-long fight for democracy and a five-time presidential contender. Odinga has left a towering political legacy that shaped modern Kenya and its politics, but also a more intimate legacy as a man who valued family, justice, and fairness.
Way before he became the towering political figure that he was, not just in Kenya but the region and the continent as well, Raila Odinga was first a family man. His journey on earth began on the 7th of January 1945 at the Anglican Missionary Society Hospital in Maseno in the then Kisumu district. He was born to the late first Vice President of the country, Mzee Jaramogi Odinga, and the late Mama Mary Juma Odinga. He was born into a polygamous family and was one of 17 children of Jaramogi Odinga. His search for education started at the Kisumu Union Primary School before transitioning to Maranda School. In 1965, Raila won a scholarship to study in East Germany. 5 years later, he graduated with an engineering diploma, today's equivalent of a master's degree, from the Otto von Guericke University. Upon his return to Kenya, he landed at the University of Nairobi for a teaching job. He would also later establish a manufacturing empire, the Standard Processing Equipment Construction and Erection, later East African Spectre, dealing in LPG cylinders and related apparatus. During his time at the university, Raila met Ida Onyango. They married in 1973, forming a formidable partnership that has weathered the extraordinary challenges of Kenyan politics, including long periods of detention. Ida, a former teacher, has been his unwavering political and emotional anchor. That political path that Raila has walked his entire life began as a tireless campaign for social justice and multi-party democracy during the autocratic regime of the late President Daniel Arap Moi. That pro-democracy activism came at a great personal cost. He was imprisoned without trial multiple times in the 1980s, spending a total of about 8 years in detention. He also briefly sought asylum in Norway in 1991. But that high price did not deter the man who came to be known as Baba, or the enigma of Kenyan politics.
Wakenya hoye! Wakenya hoye! Kenya hoye! Leo hii ni siku muhimu zaidi kwa Wakenya wote.
His political run has seen him earn his place in the annals of Kenyan and lately regional history. He served in the legislature as MP and in the executive as Minister and Prime Minister. But perhaps his most enduring legacy was his role in sealing two of Kenya's most important reforms, multi-partyism democracy in 1991 and a new constitution in 2010. He also made an indelible mark in the country's history as a presidential candidate 5 times, as well as having successfully challenged a presidential election. In his later years in politics, Raila looked beyond Kenya, serving the continent as infrastructure envoy and unsuccessfully seeking the AUC's chairmanship. Yet, in the midst of the heavy political burden and toil, his family has remained at the core of his existence. The Odinga family has often described him as a deeply affectionate man who valued laughter, storytelling, and family dinners, balancing the harsh demands of public life with the warmth of his home. Now that family that formed the backbone of his support will be left with memories of the times they spent with their father, but also with the man who became a father or Baba to an entire nation. He is survived by his widow Ida, his 3 surviving children, Rosemary, Junior, and Winnie, and several grandchildren, aside from his extended family, including politicians Oburu Odinga and Ruth Odinga, amongst others. Brenda Wanga, Citizen.